This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we've got my example Gallantmon list for the EX2 meta. This is also the list that I used for the show match I had on DPP's channel, so if you have not been to that, there will be a link to that in the description here, and if you guys want to see the deck in action, make sure to watch that match. Additionally, this will be a deck list, and I'll also have some combos and kind of some like best of stacks towards the end of this video, just kind of showing how this deck is played if you guys have any questions for it. But jumping on into it, so we do have some new kind of Gallantmon and Gallantmon stuff in the EX2 box that we're getting hopefully at the end of this month, and the idea of this deck is kind of, we've got some new Gallantmon, so we have this one for example. This Digimon gets plus 2k DP for your turn, and also if you have Red Tamer in play, you get to add 2k to your maximum DP you can choose with DP deletion effects, and also as a when attacking, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 8k or less and delete them. So immediately if you have a Red Tamer out, this becomes 8k or less, and you have this 14k body. Additionally, the kind of the best card that we got for this whole thing, and it supports kind of the old cards too, is the Takato Matsuki. So during your turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you can suspend this to gain one memory, which is kind of nice. But also your turn, when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Gallantmon or Groundmon in its name, it gains when Digivolving Blitz for the turn, which just means like this like the BT2 Gallantmon and this one too, both of them have really good effects on attacking, but they're also Digivolves for 4, which means it's a little tricky to Digivolve and attack on the same turn that they are played. But this Takato kind of gets around that by saying, you know what, you can swing as soon as you're played with getting Blitz, and that helps out a lot of the deck. And I've been playing this a little bit, and it's been super fun, and being able to get these out consistently and get their effects off as soon as you play them, and pretty much turning them into when Digivolving effects have made a huge difference. So we're just kind of going over the bottom half. So we are running some Flamemons just to kind of help us find our Tamers a little bit better, as well as getting into these guys are kind of important. I've also thought about running just Bokomon. Bokomon might just be a little bit better, especially since it looks a little bit deeper and looks for hybrids as well. Obviously you can't Digivolve in Raising with it, but you also get the 2 memory back in case you do like a Goonimon player. So I don't know, it's something I've thought about, and maybe I'll put that into future builds, but not this one, but just to help us out. It's a red rookie that can search for itself too, which is nice. We also have the new Gallantmon from the EX2 set. So on play, reveal top 5 cards for any card with Groundmon or Gallantmon in its name, and also one of your Tamers. So this does help us search a little bit deeper for that too, which is nice. We do have the promo Gallantmon. It's just when attacking, you get to draw 1, and we do have this new Digimon Digitama. So when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Gallantmon, Groundmon, or Gallantmon in its name, you get to draw 1. So if you just put this in your Raising area and you swing with it immediately, you get to draw 2 cards, which is kind of nice, especially for something like Red that kind of has some bricking issues. So I felt like it was kind of nice, and it's Gallantmon, it fits into the names and stuff, so that's kind of nice for it. We also do have the Star Deck 7 one. So your turn, if your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon in play, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Gallantmon in your hand with memory cost of 4, ignoring its requirements, which is fantastic when you realize it's going to have its Blitz as 2. So if you can just have this hanging out in Raising, and you push it forward, and then you just go into one of your Gallantmons, it can swing immediately, and then it gets all of its effects too. That's really nice. The inheritable 2 to get to draw a card when something's deleted is helpful for our deck too. We're running 4 Goonimons because we do need to kind of make sure that we can get into our boys. And sometimes the easiest way to do that is with just going a Digivolve on top of our Tamers if we get them. So it's just like the best, I think, level 4 to help us out. We do also have the Groundmon from the Star Deck 7. So inheritable, once per turn when opponent's Digimon is deleted, you get to gain 1 memory. So this is cool for what it is. Being able to get the additional memory is nice and helps us extend our plays a little bit, especially in Red when we don't have a lot of memory in a lot of things. So that does help. Obviously it pairs really nice with the Kato as well, because this also gains memory by tapping itself. So that helps us there. Then we kind of go into the Dino Human. So this is where I'd say my build is a little bit different. Normally there's a level 5 kind of War Groundmon that a lot of people go into, but I kind of like this guy a little bit more. So it's red, yellow, and then it has when attacking one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1k DP for the turn. So a lot of this means is that this can stack with this. So let's say you have this underneath your Gallantmon, you get to swing this Gallantmon. So you get to swing, you get the minus 1k to something, and then you can do the 8k or less deletion. So this kind of just extends a lot of our Gallantmon abilities too. And it's also red-yellow, which is important because we are running Sylphimon in this list too. This is such a good card to DNA Digivolve into this list. So DNA Digivolve into it, gives something minus 5k for the turn, and then you get to pop something with 5k or less, which means it can pop something 10k or less when you DNA Digivolve all by itself. But then you compound that with, if you go into this and then you can go into Gallantmon, this means that you can give something minus 5k for the turn, even if you just hard Digivolve into it. And then you can go into Gallantmon from there, and then you pop it, since if it has 6k less DP, and then you get to swing with this and everything else. It pairs very nicely. And Chimeramon does a very similar thing as well. Obviously, it's a little less restrictive, and it does help you get some cards underneath it, so you can put like some Dino Humans or even some Rise Greymons from underneath it to help you get your your effects to go off. And just being able to give minus DP to things definitely helps out the idea of Gallantmon being able to pop things, because it doesn't give minus DP, it just says something with 6k or less, which is sometimes a little restrictive, and just giving the minus DP in general is stronger in a lot of ways. And then we do also have the Rise Greymon at 3, so this can Digivolve for 3 on top of red or yellow, so just red for all our intents and purposes, but it does have a Digiburst for 2. You play 1 red or yellow tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying its memory cost. So it's good to just kind of go and have this guy sitting here and you're raising. It's probably one of the best cards to start raising into for this build. And I might even just do a 4 split here, and maybe, I don't know, I like Chimeramon, but you can't search it with red memory boost. And I do like the yellow stuff. So I don't know, Sylphimon's a little obnoxious because you do have to pretty much have Dino Human as one of your dudes, but being able to have this in raising, push it up, use this effect to play a Tocado from hand for free, and then Digivolve into a Gallantmon, either one of these is super strong, and it's a very good tempo play. So I like the idea of it, and kind of going from there. Then you also have the Gallantmon Crimson mode. So this is the secret rare from the set. So when it does Digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. This also gives, with Gallantmon in its name, so this gets blitz too, and so you can swing with this, and it has, when attacking, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack, add 1 to the number of cards trashed by this effect for every 10 cards. So it's like this effect on attacking, but a little bit better, because it's only it's immediately after you get 10, you get to trash 1. This gets, if your opponent has 10 cards in their trash with this guy, they trash 2. Additionally, the trashing happens before you swing in, so if they only have 2 security and you swing with this guy and you trash 2 security, this does swing for game. So that's very important, and can help you. This guy can just win the game. It's kind of like an Omni Blitz, but a little bit better in this deck, and that's kind of nice for it. And then red memory boost to help you hero, just because we don't always have sources to have for our security attack +1. But if you want a tie tamer, I think that makes sense, especially since we're doing some DNA devolution stuff that does come up a little bit, as well as Tocado just being a fantastic boy for us. So that's the deck list for you guys, and then let's go into the kind of example combos and stuff. All right, so here are some of the example combos. I did go over some of these when I was talking about the deck, but I know that sometimes looking at the cards and seeing them straight up is a little bit easier than just reading them off the website. So some kind of cool example combos we can do with this. Kind of a basic one is that if you just have, like, let's say we have we have a Rise Greymon here. We don't even have to have hero. We can be at like 1 memory right here, but we passed to 2, our opponent passes back to 1, and we have this stack up here. So we can push this up, and then we can use this effect of the Rise Greymon to Digiburst for 2. So we're probably going to get rid of the Gilmon and the Gigimon, and then from there we get to play a Tamer for free. So we can play our Tocado, which is fantastic. We could also play the hero if we needed to, but let's just say we did that. And then for 1, we get to go to either one of our Gallant modes. So for 4, we Digivolve here. I think this one's probably the better early game, and then the other one's better late game. But for 4, we get to do this. It has Blitz because of our opponent, or because of our Tocado. So it swings, which means it pops anything with 8k DP or less, but you can also stack it with the Rise Greymon when attacking. So it gives something minus 2k for the turn, and then this. So essentially this can pop anything with 10k or less, or up to, things up to 10k or less on the board. And then you can swing in here, and then you can pop other things. This is a 14k when swinging 2. And then if you delete cards, which you probably will be, you get to gain 2 memory back due to these guys both proccing the Growlmon inheritable as well as the Takato when a Digimon is deleted, which means you can maybe even keep it your turn, which is kind of silly, and kind of go from there. So that's like one really basic combo. I think Rise Gray really helps this deck just because it gets to play a tamer as well as lets you, set up and make sure Gallantmon's a little bit better. Some other additional combos you can go here is with the DNA evolution, and I like both, which is why both are in the list. I think they're both different scenarios where they're better. But for example, we do have the Dynamo Human here, for example. And let's just say we already have the Kato out because they like swung into security and they hit into it. Oh, that's also a tamer, so that's good. So let's just say here we start at 3 because of our hero. We can push this up, and then from there we can do something such as Digivolving on top of the hero for 2 from our Agunimon, and then we can do the effect where we can go into either Chimeramon or into our Sophimon for free, DNA Jogris evolution there. So red, yellow here. This one obviously is more restrictive because you do need to have the yellow source, but it's super good. It gives something -5k and at least something -5 or 5k or less. And then you can, it's still your turn. You still have this giant stack of cards. Additionally, if we had something like the Growlmon underneath it, it does reset the inheritables for that. Or if we already drew a card from our Digimon, that's kind of good. And then we can go into, again, our Gallantmon for 4. We swing in with it because it will have Blitz from the Takato, which means we can get a memory back if we need to. And then we can just kind of do some fancy things. So obviously this will pop everything with 8k or less, or pop up to 8k or less. This will go up plus 2k DP as well, so something 7k or less with this, as well as Dino Human will give something -1k. This will also pop something with 5k or less, so a lot of destruction, a lot of ways to kind of interact with your opponent. And then you have a big 14k body swing come in, and it's very strong. So being able to do like a lot of these when attacking as soon as you play them because of the Blitz from the Takato kind of makes a lot of sense. And then of course you can do the same thing. So let's just say this lives, and you can just kind of go into this the next turn and do a lot of damage with it too. So you obviously, this does not suspend like Blitz Omni, so you do have to just swing with it. The Takato does not unsuspend something when you swing with it, but this is a great boss monster. This almost always does 2 damage. If like late game, this does like 3 damage automatically. You'll get rid of 2 security as long as your opponent has 10 in their trash, and then it will check 1 more. So that's the idea of the deck. I think there's some really cool combos in other gameplay format. I'm still working on it, but I think I really do like the DNA devolution with it, or Digivolve with it, being able to go into like these bigger stacks. And because of this too, maybe I'll switch to the tie. You know what, that's the security attack +1 probably isn't that difficult to do if I'm doing the DNA stuff with it, and it's only like a 2k boost with this guy anyway, so maybe I'll probably switch to him. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. Again, there should be an example match that releases the same time as this video on the DPP channel, so make sure to check the description for the link to that. And that's going to be it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the deck, and I'll catch you all next time.